Hi, this is Dr. Nirupa. I'm a consultant gynecologist and obstetrician, meaning a women department doctor who deals with all laparoscopic surgeries and deliveries from Murugan Hospital, Kilpack. Any pregnant woman has to take care of many basic steps. When we talk about pregnant women, we tell them a lot of do's and don'ts. This works for even a working woman or a normal housewife. Do's meaning when it comes to diet, we tell the women to have at least 5 meals per day instead of the 3 major meals that we eat regularly. 5 meals meaning small meal which is healthier. Meaning if you have a breakfast in the morning, we expect pregnant women to have a small snack which can be a vegetable salad or a fruit or any healthy drink in between her lunch. And the same way, we expect them to have a meal between their lunch and dinner. That could be a sprout or again a salad or any fruit or anything that is comfortable for the pregnant women. When it comes to diet, again we expect them to have enough water. The pregnant woman generally needs more water compared to a normal menstruating woman. Meaning pregnant woman gets the blood of the pregnant woman generally have the thinning at the end of the pregnancy. The thinning basically happens with the help of water. So when the hot water intake is reduced, again the pregnant woman might have difficulties like low hemoglobin or dehydration or even pregnant woman who's having excessive vomiting will end up having dehydration. These two are the main things any pregnant woman has to be taken care of. Other than that, a pregnant woman who's working is expected to be at work for at least 8 hours. So during that time, what we are supposed to do? If you're having a sedentary work style where you sit on a computer, you are a sedentary working woman, IT person, we expect a pregnant woman to go for a walk in between at least once in an hour or a 10-minute break, or when you're sitting for a long time, you can have a pillow behind your chair which can help your spine positioning. When we talk about spine positioning in pregnant women, the spine generally changes its position once the pregnancy womb grows into more than 20 weeks. The pregnant woman has a change in the spinal position when the straight spine becomes a curved one. So that position might end up having a lot of back pain, restricting the woman to have your day-to-day lifestyle. These are the main thing that a woman who's in a workplace has to be taken care of. Other than that, I've seen many pregnant women asking, "Ma'am, I'm working, so should I be doing extra workout? I'm already working." So even if your body is working every day and you go by walk or anything to your workplace, and every pregnant woman needs a form of physical activity to keep herself pain-free for easy labor, for the spines to get into reposition postpartum also. So 30 to 45 minutes of basic walking should do, or at least 30-minute walk inside the house. Where you have a terrace or outside your house, you can just go for a small walk regularly, or at least a 20-minute walk after each meal. If you're already a physically active woman who is really going to gym or any kind of physical activity, aerobic or anything, before pregnancy, it can very well be continued during pregnancy too. If you're not a physically active woman right before your pregnancy, do not try anything that is new to your body system during pregnancy. Again, when we're talking about pregnancy and all the dietary changes, physical activities, we are also dealing with pregnant people who have high-risk pregnancy. All these high-risk pregnancy women are not allowed to do all the activities, or even sometimes we restrict them to go to work. Meaning people who had multiple miscarriages before, pregnant women who is dealing with any other complications like who is diabetic before pregnancy or during pregnancy, or pregnancy women who have hypertension either before the pregnancy or after pregnancy. All these women are considered as high-risk pregnancy. And there are also other obstetric reasons where a pregnant woman might not be let to work, where her placenta, the meaning the baby's attachment to the uterus, might be at a lower level in the uterus, who are expected to be on complete bed rest until the placenta goes a little up. There are women who also have the placenta at the lower level throughout the pregnancy, though they are not allowed to work at all. So these are high risk pregnancies which is to be taken care of, where the regular work schedule cannot be done regularly. Other than that, all pregnant women at workplace should take off for their regular antenatal visits to their doctors. Generally, the pregnancy is being divided into 3 trimesters. The first trimester being until 12 to 14 weeks, where the pregnant consultants ask the patients to come every 4 weeks for an antenatal visit, and on during the second trimester again every 4 weeks. And once they enter the third trimester, initial first part of the third trimester might be expected to come every 2 weeks, and the last part of the pregnancy after the 36 weeks, every week to be visiting the consultant. So, taking a leave management during the antenatal visit is very essential. Missing antenatal visit at prior time or the particular time, they might miss any kind of important investigation that has to be taken during that time, and end up having a complication in the pregnancies. When we're talking about sanitary products, we have 3 different sanitary products that we are using these days. The sanitary pads that we are using, tampons, and the menstrual cups, which has come recently. Each and everything has its own changing time difference. When it comes to changing pads, there are different kind of pads these days. When you find a thin pad which comes with the commercial marketing, where it's absorbs like for the whole day, for the whole night, all that. So when we, being gynecologists, we are worried about these kind of pads, where these pads are all filled with a lot of chemicals. When blood drops into it, the chemicals generally absorb the blood, and just like in a chemistry lab, when you mix 2 chemical products, it generally gives a lot of pungent smell. The gases from it gets released. That is why we don't smell the blood when we use these kind of pads. So these gases eventually go into your internal genital system and are expected to create a lot of infection from adolescent age group also to the fertility age group, where the adolescent age group girls come with a lot of stinky, greeny vaginal discharges. From there to a lot of infection inside the tubes and inside the uterus, and also ending up in infertility in due course of time. So all these pads are expected to be changed less than 4 hours of time or maximum to 5 hours. If at all you're using a normal pad, an organic pad, where these thin pads are avoided, those pads can be used for at least 5 hours at a stretch. And when we come to tampons, tampons are one which are the most dangerous part of the sanitary products, where sometimes we have seen women missing the tampons from inside. Tampons are the one small products which have been kept inside the vagina, which has a small thread outside. Seemingly, the thread outside the vagina is supposed to help you remove the tampons easily. There are women who have forgotten to remove the tampons, ended up in severe infections, anaphylactic septic shocks, ended up with serious disabilities. So these tampons are supposed to be changed every 3 hours to 4 hours, not more than that. Keeping it overnight is quite dangerous. We expect them to change or use a pad over in the night instead of a tampon. Now coming to the menstrual cups. Menstrual cups are cups that is made of silicones, very easy to introduce, very easy to use once you get the hang of it. This is a silicone product, so it doesn't have to be disposable. All you need to have 1 or 2 silicone cups for your whole menstrual period, where you can keep one inside in the morning. The whole day, the cup absorbs all the blood. I mean, it doesn't absorb, it keeps all the blood inside the cup. And once you come back home, you can remove the cup, wash it with nice liquids, and just hot water should do. And you can put it back inside, or you can wash it and keep it for drying and use another sanitary cup. Talking about cramps during menstruation, it is nothing but something that we call it as dysmenorrhea. Dysmenorrhea meaning painful periods. Painful periods happens only when you understand a normal menstrual cycle. When we have a normal menstrual cycle, every woman ovulates on the day of 14 to 16. An egg releases from the ovary, which comes to wait in the tube, waiting for a conception. When it doesn't conceive, it comes out and stays in the uterus and exactly in the 14th day after ovulation, a woman menstruates. When this happens, the peeling off of the tissue from the uterus and the peeling of the endometrium causes dysmenorrhea. This dysmenorrhea is considered normal when you have a healthy cycle. We say when people come with dysmenorrhea, if you're having a regular cycle, it's actually a healthy menstrual cycle. Dysmenorrhea also has in other varieties where you have a severe pain during either the cramps start before your periods or even continues during after your second or third day of the periods. They are having a medical condition called endometriosis or adenomyosis. All these conditions have to be dealt definitely by a OGTN. And all these can vary from any age, from an adolescent age group girl or to perimenopausal age where you are towards the menopause. Any age group can be affected by this. A normal dysmenorrhea where you're having mild cramps that settle down in just a few hours time need not be worried about. Basic steps to control that, you can use a hot water bag on your abdomen, which actually seems to have relaxes the muscles inside and eventually a pain relief. And there's actually a myth not to take tablets during menstruation period. Definitely not. No woman is here to deal with painful menstruation. You can definitely go ahead to have a painkiller. Painkiller meaning you can go ahead with a paracetamol or a mefenamic acid as smooth muscle relaxant. Just a paracetamol tablet should do for most of the women. When it comes to a next level of painkiller, definitely the woman has to evaluate herself for any other issues inside the uterus. When it comes to severe dysmenorrhea, when we're talking about endometriosis and adenomyosis, these people might require painkillers through even injections, or they might require contraceptive pills, which we talk about. It's just not for contraception, we also give it for adolescent girls, which reduces the hormone levels generally, and eventually the pain during the cycle is reduced. Rest, the ideal during periods, in the sense it's a very different term. Any woman during throughout her menstrual cycle meaning it's from the day 1 to day 30, not only the period time that we shed 1 to 5. The rest during the whole time is definitely a hell during the periods. Any woman who's having a stressful work job or doesn't sleep for a while, that 7 to 8 hours time, definitely experience difficult or painful periods during your first 1 to 5 day cycle. So throughout the month, where any woman is expected to have 6 to 8 hours of sleep. Generally, they say women need more sleep than men because of the hormonal changes. So eventually, we don't sleep that much, but that sleep period of 6 to 8 hours throughout the month is definitely essential to have an healthy menstrual cycle. A normal menstrual cycle, meaning a woman who has her period shedding. So menstruation doesn't just happen right immediately after the 13 or 14 years. No. What happens? A woman from the womb of her mother, a baby, a girl baby, which is inside the womb of a mother, also has the changes happening inside. So what happens? All women have a uterus and 2 ovaries beside them and 2 tubes connecting them. So what happens? The 2 ovaries inside the baby also has millions of eggs inside it. Millions of eggs meaning every ovary has more than 3 to 4 millions of eggs. When it comes to the age of puberty, the pre-puberty age, when the girl enters 9 years or 10 years, the eggs gets recruited, and around her throughout her menstrual cycle they bleed only around 320 to 350 times. So every month there's an egg coming. So every cycle there's one egg that is expected to come out of each ovary. Generally, the day 1 of the cycle where a woman bleeds is considered the day 1. Once the woman starts to shed, the periods might happen for 5 to 6 days, and later, once the period gets over, the ovary starts to recruit one egg at a time, and that egg develops to at a stage and comes for ovulation at around day 14 to day 16. If you're a woman with a day 28 cycle, you might be ovulating on the day 14th, and if you're on a woman who's having a day 30-day cycle, you might be ovulating on your day 60. So what happens when just after the ovulation, The ovulated egg passes through the tube, waits for an intercourse or a human sperm. When the sperm is not there, the egg enters the uterus and stays in the uterine wall. From the day of ovulation, exactly on the 14th day, every woman gets a cycle. Your cycle is not regular, probably you're not ovulating. So, all this happens because of two or three hormones inside your cycle: estrogen, progesterone. The estrogen is the one responsible for the ovulation, and right after the ovulation, progesterone takes over, where your endometrium of the uterus, the inner lining of the uterus, gets thickened and sheds off after your periods. When you're talking about healthy diet or any food during periods, it's just not periods. As I explained, menstrual cycle, the periods time of day 1 and day 5 is just a part of the menstrual cycle, and food just not related to that period. A normal balanced diet has to be ensured throughout the month, and the balanced diet meaning you have to cover your protein levels for the day, fat meaning the good fat, and the carbohydrates, and healthy greeny leafy vegetables or fruits for the day. So, what are all the foods that will help have a healthy periods or a less painful or less discomfort periods? We will talk about it. For people who have very bad increased bleeding, or who soak a lot of pads, or expected to have iron-rich food where your hemoglobin has to be balanced. Hemoglobin formation needs iron in your food. So all you need to take is iron-rich food, which may be you getting in dates, jaggery. If you're a non-veg eater, you can eat liver meat, spleen meat. All that has a high amount of iron in it. People who are focused with painful periods during their periods can have throughout the cycle a little amount of yogurt. Yogurt has got probiotics, and it's also a cool down factor for your body, which is really good. Yogurt, and just not yogurt, you can also have buttermilk. Anything, both can reduce all the painful hormones and all that, and have a cramp less, probably cramp free, I won't say, periods. In that case, in the same variety, you can also take bananas. When we're talking about fat, that which helps pregnancy, generally a normal menstrual cycle or a good fertility needs good amount of good fat. Good fat meaning the omega-3 fatty acids or trans fats, which is very rich in seafoods. Seafoods meaning small fishes, not the bigger fishes. Bigger fishes have a lot of amount of mercury, again ending up in infertility. And so you can buy small fishes, any form of way of cooking you can do that. And chia seeds, flax seeds, sunflower seeds, all that is also rich in trans fats. You can also have good amount of egg for protein intake. Egg meaning the white part of the egg we recommend all pregnant or menstruating women to have, which is also having the proteins which needs to relax during your menstrual cycle.